Welcome to the fucking Tech Dad Pod.
Whoa, that's some energy.
I know that's the first time I think I've done it with that much gusto. Gusto
was literally the word that I was about to use for that. That's hilarious.
It's a good word. It's an underappreciated word.
Oh,
How you doing? You alright?
doing good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I'm cold.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly these days, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is.
What you got? 7-8 degrees where you are right now?
Something like that.
What does it say? I don't know. Cold as shit.
Yeah, doesn't really matter, does it?
11. Highs of 11. I don't know if it's 11 right now. I've just been outside and I don't know. It doesn't feel like 11 to me. So
yeah, no, mine feels a lot colder than 11.
Yeah, at least sun's shining though. We got blue skies. It's been so bloody grey recently. Grey Britain is one of those things that gets banded around, but it's been pretty grey recently. Grey, like the mood.
So British how we've just gone straight in on the weather.
Is that the first time we've done that? I don't think that even is.
No,
the
it's
first
not.
time
That's the point.
That.
We do it a lot. We do it far more often than we should do.
Walking cliches.
Yeah. Do other people like from other countries talk about the weather?
Probably not, because
nice weather.
I heard something when I was like a kid that I thought was fairly accurate. I was just like, why did British people talk about the weather so much? And because we are probably the only country that actually has weather and everybody else has a climate. So everywhere else is like very, distinguishable. This is what it's supposed to be like this time of year. This is what it's not like. This is, they have reliable climate.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas we're just like, I don't know, it could be fucking 20, 25 degrees in November. You just never know here. It just,
yeah,
anyway,
I know.
Don't know. Might snow tomorrow. Who knows?
No, there's no snow. I always check for snow. I love the snow.
Don't eat yellow snow.
No.
Oh, this was derailed super fast.
Massively. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it's not too bad, mate. Weekend without the kids for us this weekend. So played some golf on Saturday, which was nice. Didn't play especially great, but my golf clubs are still in my car. You're probably used to seeing them over my shoulder here still, but they're still in my car. So, so yeah, that was nice. Played with a buddy of mine from work, and then watched sport. Just watch sport. Big win for Texas Longhorns. Welcome. At the weekend over, who did we play at the weekend? Florida Gators. So absolutely pounded them into the ground. And then
that is the most Floridian name for a team I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, the Gators. Yeah,
the Gators. Yeah.
Who previously used to be very good college football team, but they're having a pretty shitty season. And then the Eagles took home a big W against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Big divisional rivalry. So, yeah, good weekend, sporting weekend. My hockey team lost on Saturday night, though. We got pounded by the Jets. So, anyway, that's by the by. How about you?
Yeah, good. A lot of Jaden's football, as usual. Actually went to my dad's on Saturday as well for dinner. Saw them. That was good. Jaden had training Saturday. Sunday he played a match and he scored his first goal of the season.
Oh, get in there, son!
It was a
proud dad moment?
Yeah, it was also a fairly easy goal to score if you're in the right position.
Come again.
So yeah, I've got the video of it because one of the mums filmed it, and it looks like a very easy goal to score.
A little tap in.
Yeah, but he needed to be there in the right area to do the tapping. So
that makes sense.
And that's something that I've been working on with him for a while. So it's good that he actually has taken some of it on board.
He's been listening to you. That's nice.
Yeah. And the team they won 4-0 overall. So it was a good day at the office for him.
Oh, nice. Did you what do you call your actual team? The Irons, the Hammers, something like that?
Oh, I've given up with them this season.
Oh, really? It's like that, is it? It's only it's not even Christmas yet.
I know. That's the depressing part about it. But the thing is, I knew it would be like this season because we changed manager who a lot of people didn't like the old one. I did, because he won us a trophy, which not many, in fact, very few West Ham managers can ever say. And yeah, got a new one in who I don't know what he's doing.
Just fucking it
Yeah.
up.
Short and sweet of it. I don't know what he's doing.
I actually watched my first a whole Premier League game. It's on Sunday for the first time in years. I watched Arsenal
what
Chelsea.
game was it? It was I watched that. It was quite a good game.
Yeah, one of my best mates is a Chelsea fan, so I watched it with him while my partner and his partner watched Chicago, the musical, together. So we went round to his parents' house and watched the football. So
that makes sense. That's a good little trade off.
Yeah, but he's a diehard Chelsea fan. You know me. I'm not a big soccer watcher, but yeah, it's the first time I've watched a full Premier League game in forever, or any Premier League game. I watched the World Cup, obviously. You know, just because watch during the World Cup, it's a bit different atmosphere wise and spectator sport wise. But it's the first time I actually sat down and watched a game. And it's just like I can see why people. I do appreciate why people like it. So, but yeah. Anyway,
that's good. That's good that you enjoyed it. It's the main thing.
You got an airplane flying overhead there.
Helicopter.
Helicopter.
I get a lot of air traffic over my house for some strange reason. It feels like they're flying extremely low as well.
And they're scoping you out.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a really short episode if one just crashed into me. I mean,
I don't think this episode would ever see the light of day because you handle all of that. So
that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if my laptop would save it. I don't know. It'd be like the lost archive of the podcast.
Speaking of things, things that have been lost, what about the election results, huh?
Yeah, I'm annoyed that I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm disappointed but not surprised.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I've not spoken to anyone living out there. The thing is, I've realised that I don't actually know anyone that votes for him.
Well,
I've never spoken to anyone that says I vote for Trump, which amazes me a little bit.
I think there's a lot of people that very vocally vote for him, but there's also a lot of people that very unvocally vote for him because they're worried about how they'll be seen by backlash. Yeah, but I don't know. But people do vote for him apparently because 80-something million people voted for him, which is just bonkers. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting 4 years, especially because the Republicans took control of the House and the Senate as well, so he was at least kept in check a little bit because the Republicans didn't have total control the last time he was in office. Yeah, or he will do come January 11th or whatever date he gets inducted. So,
how's your other half taken it? Because obviously she's a native.
Yeah, so she wasn't surprised either. Disappointed, but not surprised. She has spoken to a bunch of her friends and what have you, and people that she knows over there, who are now seriously considering leaving the country, because of the potential implications and some of the stories. There's been some pretty disgusting stuff coming out after it already. Things being said like "your body, my choice." Which is pretty hideous. Some pretty nasty things being sent around to the African American community as well. I don't know. It's horrible. So I guess I don't know. 4 years. What people are saying, he can have 4 more years and then he can't be re-elected. So I was
going to say that's probably the silver lining is that after this, he can't go back.
Yeah, but anything can happen in 4 years, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was some way that he tried to stay in power after his 4 years. So I don't know. It's worrying. I think. I think if I was a parent in the US, then I'd be concerned. I think about the next 4 years. Yeah,
parenting in the US concerns me anyway. I remember when I first joined. Oh, So when I was in one of my previous jobs, we got acquired by an American firm based in Minnesota. So I
It's quite a
just
nice part of the US, actually.
yeah. But I did look into like because a lot of the job was based out there. Like most of the team was out there. So I just thought, let me look into relocating, just what it would be like. And obviously, Carmel's a teacher, and I've got 2 kids. So my first thing was looking at the school shooting rates in. I mean, I went across like all states, but then specifically that one because that would have been the one to go to. And I think they had one of, if not the lowest, which was like one a year or something like that.
Still one too many, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that was my first thought. It's like, no, that's still a joke. That's yeah. So that that whole thing quickly escaped my mind
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
just the thought of sending your kids into school and even having to worry about that to me that's alien to me. Like
Yeah.
we don't have that. We had one shooting in the UK, and then immediately the next week the guns were banned. Period. And there's not been any sort of incidents like that since.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's easy to say. I think the UK has its own problems. I think even this weekend, there was in the news at least 3 separate reports of stabbings resulting in death that I read of, and one shooting resulting in death. So it's not like it doesn't happen here.
no.
But I think the prevalence of it between the two places is an interesting. It's so much more accessible, and the likelihood is so much higher in the US than it is here. Yeah, it's easier for us to sit here with rose-colored glasses on.
Yeah.
About the UK, but the UK has its problems too. But yeah,
Yeah, a lot
the
of
fact that
problems.
schools have to do active shooter drills and all that kind of stuff is just mind-boggling. Like what I don't know, Second Amendment right or whatever just doesn't mean what it's come to mean these days. Anyway, I don't know. Easy to sit here on our soapbox, isn't it?
It is.
What else is new?
I had so obviously I've been in my new job for just over a month now. I think I had a little 2-day induction last week because where the company's so big, they do monthly 2-day inductions just with all the other new joiners. Doesn't matter what department you're in, what level you're at, you're all going into the same room. You learn in the same kind of fundamentals of the company and the industry. Don't know why that word escaped me. And yeah, so that was interesting because I've never done one like that before, and it was good. I learned a lot. I didn't think I would because I obviously go into most things thinking I know it all. But yeah, I especially because we're in the cybersecurity space, and there was a lot of things that I learned that kind of made me realize why certain things are the way they are in terms of like computer security and password protection and all those kind of things. So yeah, that was interesting. Go
on then. What's the most interesting thing that you learned, or most surprising thing that you learned?
Oh, I'm on the spot now.
Yeah. Well, you're talking to me. You got to know this was coming.
I did. Yeah. There was something with passwords and like specifically how passwords are laid out and how it's it will take. I can't remember the amount of time. I did make a note of it, but if you have a password of 3 random words, then some numbers, then some random characters, it's like it will take a computer a lot longer to try and hack that than any other sort of password. Yeah, I just found that quite interesting.
Might just go and change my passwords.
Yeah, that was my first thought. Is oh shit. Yeah, I fucked up here. I also didn't realize. So we watched a couple of videos around social engineering and how easy it is to get information out of people. and it did amaze me how it shouldn't have, but people are stupid across the board. People are stupid. Like there was a video of like someone would just ask random people in the street, like what sort of things make up your password, and then they would say like, my cat's name or my pet's name, and then the year I graduated, and then the person would be like, oh, what sort of pet do you have? Oh, I've got a cat. Oh, what's their name? They'd say their name. Suddenly they've got half the password. It's like, oh, where did you go to high school? Oh, here. Oh, when did you graduate? Suddenly they've got the whole password within a matter of 2 minutes. And I think only one of the people that they showed actually realised that they'd gotten the password out of them. Yeah, that spoke to me on how dumb people can be.
What's your password? I'm not telling you.
Yeah, that's my first reaction.
What's your password made up of? I'm not telling you.
Yeah, letters and numbers, and I'll walk off.
Letters, numbers, and special characters. Off you fuck.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Interesting. So it's going well. Month in, do you like it?
Yeah, I'm really liking it. I've now got access to everything that I need, and also after
with a strong password, I hope.
Yeah. But after that induction, I now understand why it's been so difficult to get what I need, which is fair enough. And so all good and full steam ahead now. Apart from tomorrow, because obviously I'm presenting at a little shindig that a certain someone's hosting and keynote speaking.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
How are you feeling
looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Obviously, not my first rodeo. We had this hosted the same conference, but in Chicago earlier this year, and then did London last year. Similar kind of deal. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The keynote is a repeat with a few tweaks from Chicago, so I'm feeling pretty prepared and ready for it. So I'll try not to pick on you this time.
That's fine. It's absolutely fine. In fairness, it's a different audience, isn't it? So
yeah,
I won't be the only one. This is like a lot more serious, I guess, would be a word that comes to mind. Maybe that's not the right word, but
yeah, I'm trying to think of what the right word is. Serious probably isn't. Maybe it is the right word. I don't know. It's not that the other conference wasn't serious. It was just a different vibe.
Yeah.
I'd say this. I don't know. This
conference
is definitely more about this conference is definitely more about the technology and learning technology rather than the people aspect of the last conference.
Yeah, the other one was a lot more people focused, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas this one's a lot more on the technology.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to it. It's going to be an early start tomorrow morning, but is what it is. What
time you got to be there?
I've got to be there for I do half 6, 7 for setup.
Is there you giving us breakfast? Do we get breakfast?
I think there's some snacks. I think there's coffee and pastries and all that good stuff. We'll take care of you.
Good stuff. I need to finish my presentation. Obviously, I did it at the last. Yeah, obviously I did it at the last one, but then I lost it, so I need to redo it.
I should have had
a
nice secure password.
yeah, but I'm doing it better. This one's going to be much better. I hope.
You know, you're not going to be able to sit on a windowsill this time, right?
Why not?
Because there ain't no windowsills in your room, pal.
I'm going to bring one. I'm going to bring my own.
You're going to bring a windowsill.
Yeah, somehow.
What does Andrew need for this talk to be successful? A windowsill that he can sit on.
And a window he
looks
can
down upon high on everyone. Figure it out for yourself, folks. See you later.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, that's looking forward to it. Seeing everybody, having some good conversations. I think that's one of the things for me I always enjoy about the conferences is just a bit of curiosity and finding out a little bit more about people and what brought them there and what they've got on their mind and incorporating that into the work I do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
I'm
That'd
looking
be
forward
good.
to this. This is the first one for me in a long time where I'm going specifically to learn stuff. Even though I've got my talk, there's a lot of like DevOps processes and stuff that I need to get my head around in this new job that previously I probably wouldn't have as much. We're obviously also now a customer of yours, so good timing for me to learn it all.
Perfect timing.
Yeah,
They had no problem signing off you going. It's just like, oh yeah, sure, go.
I don't think they know. I've not told anyone. I'll tell them later. In fact, I'll just put it in the calendar, and like if they need you need me, you need me. In fairness, I've been there such a short time. I'd like to think no one needs me on a Wednesday at this point, but we'll
You're
see.
always needed.
Thanks. Thanks.
What else? What else is new? What else is Stranger Starling in your world?
I'm going to do our new segment of film reviews because I watched the first Lord of the Rings. I watched it. Yeah, it wasn't the extended.
You know what? Before you start, I just want to say I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you for actually following through and doing it. Like
I am as well. Because
I came off the recording last week and I was like, "There's no fucking way he's doing this."
yeah, yeah. It wasn't the extended cut. It was just the regular 3 hours version. I don't even know how long it was.
Yeah, 3 hours, 12 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, one thing that has helped me with this that I didn't realize I have as a little gift, I guess, is that I'm able to watch any sort of film, TV program, podcast, whatever. If I pause it, so prime example was this. I probably paused it just over an hour in, and went back to it a day later, and I'm able to just carry on where I left off, remembering everything, fully focused back into that moment of the movie, which I don't think many people can do.
Yeah, no, that's pretty impressive. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it wasn't until watching films with can't remember who it was with, or just no. See, it would have been with Carmel, and she would have said, so I'd be watching a film, and then the next day I'd be watching the same, like the rest of that film, and she would say, "Are you watching that again?" It's like, no, I'm finishing it, and that like it boggled her mind. I could see the cogs going, like, oh, that's a bit odd that you can just do that. But anyway, Lord of the Rings, I have notes.
You got notes. Let's hear it.
I don't have notes. I
was going to say that would be a turnout for
the
books as well.
Who am I to give notes on that? I mean, the scenery and everything is
sensational.
Epic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I now understand the draw of it just from that perspective. Bearing in mind when it was made, when it came out.
2001, I think the first one is.
Yeah. I like any film that can hold with the times from a visual perspective.
Yeah,
because that's one of the things that I struggle with on older film, like say The Godfather, for example, is it's clearly an older film.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, if this came out, if you'd said to me this came out 2 years ago, I wouldn't say anything against it.
Yeah. No, it's it is stood the test of time for sure.
It has. Yeah. Sir Ian McKellen, for an old guy, he runs a lot in this film. Like, because obviously the only other real wizard, I'd guess you'd say is Harry in Harry Potter, and Dumbledore does not move hardly in that. Apart from in one film, he doesn't. You barely see him break a sweat.
Yeah, he doesn't get chased by Balrog.
Yeah,
or anything,
no.
does he?
And then Gandalf is just sprinting all over the place. I was amazed. It's like I don't know how old he was at the time of filming, but that was impressive. just seeing him running for that amount of time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got an extra in. I should probably have looked into this more because it might not have been him running at all, but still.
Yeah. No, I get that. What else did you think? Any particular scenes where you were like, that was awesome?
Do you know what? It's one that probably isn't thought of in that way because it wasn't particularly amazing. But it was quite early on in the film where Gandalf was just going to meet Frodo, and I just thought, I was thinking to myself, why is this movie so long? Like, why? Like, I was trying to be a bit of a dick and think, oh, you can cut this scene out. Like, I was honestly thinking, like, trying to make notes, and then it was the scene where everyone is realised that Gandalf is there, and then he sets off a load of fireworks on the back of his wagon.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I just loved that because I thought, okay, I now understand why that whole scene was needed. And yeah, from there I was just hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It really was an amazing film.
So will you watch the other two?
I'm going to watch number 2 for next week. I do also understand now why Orlando Bloom probably needed to be in Pirates of the Caribbean so soon after this film, because he looked strange.
He looked strange.
He looked strange.
What with his old elf garb?
Not even with mainly the hair. I'm not going to lie.
The hair, the long blonde hair,
the long braided hair. I just, like, if you compare it actually on the video of this, I'll compare him in that against him in Pirates, and it feels like it's the sort of film where he's come out of that film and said to his agent, I'm better looking than this. Like, my next role, you need to make people know that I'm an attractive man. That's what it feels like. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's how conversations with Hollywood agents works, but that's how I would have approached it.
Or how shallow Orlando Bloom is.
Or how shallow I am to even be thinking that.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think the first one is my least favorite, I think, out of the three, but it's still brilliant. But that first one really just does set the tone for everything else that happens across the trilogy. So I'm excited for you. I wish I could rewatch them again for the first time.
I am excited for the second one. Yeah. For anyone that's wondering if I've read the books, no, of course I've not read the books. I don't like reading.
Have you ever read a book?
I've read a few books. My talk tomorrow is based on a book.
Yeah, but I mean, have you ever read it like a fiction book, back to front to back?
I don't think I have.
Do your kids read?
Genuinely, I don't think I have. I've no want to. No part of
the kids read.
Yeah, the kids love reading.
Oh, well, that's good. At least the kids read. At least you're not.
Yeah, I run a more do as I say, not as I do type household.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, yeah. I can't be running it the other way because nothing to get done. But yeah, no, maybe after. I can't be doing a book and a film a week. That will be too much.
No, I can't read a book a week. I probably could read a book a week if I dedicated time to it. It's just I'd rather do other things.
Yeah, maybe a month, maybe one a month.
Yeah, I used to read a fair bit, but I don't really read it anymore. I bought 2 books in an airport. In August time. I bought 2 books. I was just like, yeah, I'll start reading on the plane. Didn't start them. Haven't started them. Still sat in my bag.
Do you know what? I've got a real problem with book places in the airport. I realised.
Go on. I'm intrigued.
So I had a couple of books that I took on holiday that I wanted to read. One of them being the one for the talk that I'm doing. And nowhere sells bookmarks, and it infuriated me.
Just turn the page over.
No, I want a proper bookmark.
Have your kids make you one? That's a nice little thing for your kids to do.
They should have actually. There's no effort. No, I'm saying this. My birthday's coming up. Watch me now get like a handmade bookmark. But no. So I ended up. It turns out that I don't know how much information of this to give. Actually, I live near a big Tesco's, and they sell little paper chase bookmarks that just sit on the corner of the book. And actually, have I got one? Yeah, I've got one.
This is astounding for a man that doesn't read.
I know. So it's this, and it just sits on the corner of your page, and that's it. To anyone that doesn't like paying for stuff, self-service in Tesco's does not register those with any weight. So if you put it on the little scanner, it doesn't say, you've not scanned it. Likewise with birthday cards. I'm not giving tips on stealing, but
said everybody that was giving tips on criminal activity ever.
But I'm just saying that if anything, this is more of a message to Tesco. You need to sort that out, because I'm not paying for a birthday card, especially when I don't have to. I'm not a fan of birthday cards in general. Like that's receiving them as well. But if I can go in Tesco, just put it. Obviously, I have to be buying other stuff though, because then you just look like a criminal. Whereas if I'm getting a meal deal,
are you saying that criminality is okay if it doesn't look like you're one?
Well, no, I'm saying that the system's broken, and people are always going to find ways around the system.
Oh dear. So when's your birthday?
6th of December.
You know what? I'm going to buy you a card and give it to you tomorrow.
No, don't buy one. Go Tesco self-service, and it's a freebie.
Here, Andrew, I spent no money on you. I put my personal reputation and criminal record on the line to give you this.
That's even more impressive. Like, I didn't spend money, but I could have gone to prison.
Dear Lord. What is on your birthday list?
I'm too old to have a birthday list now.
No, you just peace and quiet. Are we at that stage?
I'd love that. I would love that. I say this, but then I did get myself a little treat recently.
Yeah, the MetaQuest. We've talked about this.
I know.
2 or 3 times.
I got something else. This is why I've not got a birthday list, because I buy myself stuff all the time. So in my defense, this was completely unplanned. So I've made no secret of my, I don't even know how to word it, affection for David Beckham.
Aww.
Actually, on here, I don't know if I have. I might have.
I don't know that you have dropped that bombshell.
Yeah, I've just realised maybe I've not. So I'm going to put a lot of context behind this, because when I was,
are you trying to justify liking David Beckham? Like, it's easy to understand why you like David Beckham.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to justify it, but I have a rather unique reason that a lot of people might not understand. Although when you look at me, you could probably just by looking at me say, "Oh yeah, he likes David Beckham." But yeah, when I was sort of 11, 12-ish, and he was sort of gaining popularity and all that kind of stuff, that was probably around the time where I didn't really have. I don't think my dad would mind me saying this, because we're in a good place now, and I understand what was going on at the time, which was he was pretty much just working constantly. So I didn't see him all that much. And obviously I didn't live with him either, so we didn't really have any sort of connection. So in terms of male role models, at the time, David Beckham would probably have been my main one.
Oh, well, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, so and that's still the case today. So yeah, I mean, we've spoken about guests, and I know this is a reach, but Bex, if you wanna come on and have a chat about being a dad, come on. Oh, anyway, that was completely irrelevant. So it
wasn't irrelevant.
Kind of. It was the backstory to why I spent a lot of money on something that's just going to sit there.
Okay, what is the something?
It is a new pair of Adidas Predator football boots. which I know you like because you made a point of. I
replied to one of your Instagram stories.
Yeah, and you said, rocking the new Predator or the Predators. Anyway, these are them.
Nice.
Yeah.
In Bex's old colours as well.
So he designed these completely from scratch. So for anyone that doesn't know, these are Adidas Predator. For anyone that's listening, sorry, but this is a bit of a visual moment. But these are the only pair of Adidas Predators to ever have the Adidas Trefoil logo on anywhere. So there's quite a lot of branding on it. And then, can you see? Don't know.
Yeah, on the reverse side.
Yeah, it's got Beckham on the tongue. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
That was.
I used to have the Predators in that colourway too when I played rugby.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've noticed that I do a lot is that so Adidas, a lot of the time they do sort of like reissues and remakes of older colour football. It's mainly the Adidas Predator. And I tend to buy ones that I either couldn't get at the time or did, and they were my favourites. And these were probably my favourite of all time, to the point that I had the whole tracksuit and everything that went with them. I was that guy.
You were him.
I was him.
Yeah. I remember my first pair of football boots. They were hand-me-downs from the coach, and they were mightier football boots. But they were lime green.
Love it.
And I was the only one with lime green football boots, and it came the time where I needed to buy new football boots, and I was looking for football boots. I remember my dad saying to me, "It's just like, Jack, you're not going to find lime green boots anywhere. It's a pipe dream." But I think that's where like I like things with like good pop color. You know what I mean? It's like obviously orange is my favorite color. Works out being a Longhorns fan because get to wear a lot of orange these days. But yeah, lime green football boots. Hand-me-downs. Who would have thought it?
That's awesome. I have another not interesting. I like this story that I'm about to tell about my first pair of not football boots, but Adidas Predators specifically. Obviously, because of David Beckham was the reason that I wanted them, because as all kids do, you want to play like your hero. So my mum eventually gave in, got me a pair. I'm assuming it was for birthday or Christmas or something. And she made a point of saying to me, "Oh, just because you've got his boots doesn't mean you're going to play like him." My first game wearing them, I scored straight from a corner.
Let's stitch that, Mum.
Like, yeah, sorry, Mum, but you are not correct in this instance.
Didn't score again for the rest of the season, but I didn't.
Yeah. Oh no, I scored. I would have scored a few. I don't remember back then. I scored a lot of worldies in my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't score that many goals when I played football. I only played football for about 3 seasons or so, and I played defense. So did score a free kick once, so
nice.
Yeah, just the one.
I love scoring a free kick specifically. I don't know why. It's just
satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, scored plenty of tries though as a rugby player. So
that does not surprise me.
Yeah, yeah. Good times. Good times. Anyway. Speaking of the MetaQuest, how is it? Have you used it for any productivity yet? I can tell by your smile you haven't.
No, but I have. I've watched how our podcast looks on it.
Ooh, how does it look on it?
It looks good. It looks really good. I've watched a few other, mainly YouTube stuff on them. But yeah, the podcast looks sharp on it. So, I mean, that's a reach for me to try and draw out anyone specifically that likes this podcast and also has a MetaQuest 3. But yeah, check it out. I've got a feeling that eventually it will go the way of podcasts being filmed specifically for that kind of platform.
Do you think?
Yeah, or maybe not specifically for, but I think like the sort of big studio setup podcasts. It wouldn't surprise me if they had an extra. I don't know the equipment required to film for sort of free. Would it count as 3D? I don't know.
VR or
For
immersive. I don't know.
Yeah, for that kind of thing. But it wouldn't surprise me if they added that to their initial setup.
Yeah, I think it's so weird, like the potential concept of us getting to a point where there's a VR headset in every home or whatever, and like people can experience like landscapes or in the view from Everest or the Grand Canyon or something like that, sitting in your lounge. Like that's such a weird concept to me, especially because I think one of the beautiful things about going and seeing amazing scenery and like being there is the actual experience of being just physically being there. And to think that might deter people or go, why do that when I can sit with my VR headset on in my home? And that kind of worries me a little bit about how people perceive experiences. Yeah, I think that's where my biggest fear comes in.
Yeah, I think we are going to end up being in a world that's like the film WALL-E.
WALL-E.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it.
Have you not?
No. That trash compacting robot on Mars or whatever it is, or the moon.
No, so he's on Earth.
Oh, is he on Earth?
Yeah. Actually, watching it back, I've not watched it for a while, but watching it back now would probably be quite depressing because of the state of the world at the moment. Because obviously when it came out, the climate change issue wasn't the same as what it is now. The technology around sort of VR headsets and all that kind of stuff wasn't around. So when it first came out, it felt a lot more in the future, whereas now it's quite close to home.
Yeah.
So
as we've already discussed, we've just been set back about 1,000 years from the incoming president who wants to drill.
He doesn't believe climate change is a thing, does he?
Doesn't believe in climate change. No, I think all you have to do is look at the level of natural disasters happening around the world these days to know that something ain't right.
I think the perfect example of proving that it was right was COVID, when no one could travel, no one did travel, air travel stopped. The world started to heal itself. I think that summed it up, that it's real.
Yeah.
And then we didn't learn, and as soon as the restrictions were lifted, we just carried on worse than ever.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Or it's like one of those things that always gets me is those, graphics that you see on, like, if you're scrolling Instagram or TikTok, when you think about like the world, the lifespan of the Earth as a 24-hour clock. The humans have been here for like a minute or something like that, and in 10 seconds or something like that, we've depleted at 70% of or destroyed 70% of the forests, or stuff like that. So how much damage has been done by humans in such a short period of time? I don't know. Maybe we deserve an extinction event for the world to heal itself.
Or when you look at the way we act and compare it to other sort of organisms, we're the equivalent of like a virus. We're just taking resources from our host, and that's it. That's all we're doing.
Not exactly give them back, are we?
No.
I mean, that's a very general, broad, sweeping statement. There are people out there and organisations out there that do a lot of good for the world, but it's not enough.
Of course there are. And massive thank you to all of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the grand scheme of things, it's not getting
better. Shout out them organisations. Yeah. Wow. Let's not end on a depressing note. Hopefully, you've got a nice question from Reddit for us. Oh, I've really. Did you ever follow up on that heartbreak thread from last week?
Do you know what? I completely forgot. I'm going to do it after this. Right after this, next week I'll have. That's if there is an up. I could have lied then, and I could have just said, "Yeah, there's no update." In fact, we're going to edit it. I'm going to cut it from here. Yeah, no update on that thread. I'll report back.
No, we'll follow that one closely.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm not editing that. I'm not that guy. If I fucked up, I'll openly admit I fucked up. Yeah, where's my question? Here's my question. Right, so the title of this one is this normal? Yeah. It gets worse. I'm a dad of 2 young kids. My son is 3 and my daughter is soon to be 2. I sleep on the sofa in the living room and the kids sleep in our room with their mother. It has been this way now for about 4 months. They have their own room with their own individual beds, but anytime we try to get them to sleep in there, they scream endlessly like being murdered, and eventually one of us gives in. We've tried sleeping in there with them in their own beds, but that doesn't work. My 3-year-old stays in his bed, but my daughter wants to be held all the time. I'm just wondering if this is right. The sofa is not comfortable at all. I'm unemployed and it's beginning to mess with my mental health at times. Thoughts?
Yeah, you got to squash that shit. Seriously, man, like that is.
I'm glad that was your reaction, because that was my initial thought was, what are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta end that shit. Yeah. And also you gotta end that because you've said it's not comfortable for you. You know, it's not comfortable for you. Like you should be in your damn bed. You know, you probably got enough going. You said you're unemployed and it's affecting your mental health. You know what? Yeah, kids are gonna have a couple of because they're used to it, and it's been what 4 months. He says now. It's gonna be difficult for a few days, right? Getting them into that routine, but you got to stick it out.
Yeah.
You're being unkind to yourself, and in the long run you're being unkind to your kids because yeah, there might only be 2 and 3, but you got to instill that level of independence in them from a young age, you know. Yeah, you got to, dude, you got to find a way to either block the noise out and get them to, like, yes, it's uncomfortable, I get it, like I'm a dad too, like it's not nice having like your kids cry because they want attention and want to be held or don't want to be put down or like left, but you will leave them, they will be fine in the morning. They will be absolutely fine in the morning. You just got to do it for a few days and set the expectations and set the boundaries. If they were a little bit older, then you might be able to employ some different tactics, like you can have a bedtime pass, so you can get up once for, I don't know, toilet, a cuddle, whatever it is that you want, but then you go back. But if you don't use that bedtime pass in the morning, that pass can be exchanged for some sort of treat or reward, something like that.
Idea.
But yeah, like you've like fuck that, man. Like honestly, yeah, you've got to what's the saying? Be cruel to be kind, and it's not even that cruel because you know you've got to give the earlier kids can learn that some level of independence and ability to deal with what they're dealing with, the better. Like absolutely not. You know, and assuming you love your partner, wife, or whoever it is, like you want to sleep in the bed with them, right? Come on, like you know, and that's maybe a conversation that you've got to have with your wife, and you got to say, look, we got to do this thing for a week and we've got to stick it out. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable with you both for a while, but I'll take 3-4 days of uncomfortableness with children acting out and crying because you're putting in this new routine for what are going to be severe long-term happiness benefits, you know. Like, what you got to look at, the cost is a couple of nights uncomfortableness. Okay, what's the cost if you don't do it? The severe degradation of your mental health. That's not a trade-off you can make in my mind.
No. Yeah, this takes me back a little bit to when Amelia was a baby. So pretty much for the first 6 months, I think she just wouldn't sleep at all, and it got to a point for us where we would have a blow-up bed in her room, and then we would take it in turns in sleeping on the floor in her room with her, and just any sort of crying or anything, we'd comfort her, make her go back to sleep, and then carry on. But yeah, it was literally like, I would know, I'm with her tonight. I'm not getting sleep tonight. Like I had that mindset of, these days I won't be getting sleep, but Carmel will be getting sleep. So it's the trade-off that we had to make. and now she's the best sleeper ever. Like she'll sleep all the time. So yeah.
How did it move away from you having to do that?
Amelia just eventually got over it and started sleeping through the night. I know it's just. I think it's just something that some kids aren't great with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where you can try literally everything that's in sort of the parenting books, but a lot of the time the parenting books don't mention sort of things like you worrying about things like the noise the neighbours are going to be hearing and things like that. Like there's so many things that a lot of people that think they're experts don't take into account. And obviously as well, everyone's circumstances are different, so there's not really one rule for it. But yeah, if it's affecting your mental health, you need to
yeah. Like I said, like my hard line was very situational based on the question. Yeah, so there's different methods that are going to work for people, but I think you just, when it comes to what it sounds like the extent is that it is here, you got to do something about it. I think it's fairly normal for like in your case, as you said, it's fairly normal for kids to maybe have trouble sleeping a little bit, and whatever sacrifices that you're ready and willing to make, like that's situational and up to you. But yeah, for me, it's like I'd be like, no, get your ass to bed. Like, and I'm not saying like don't. It's not like you don't love on your child and give them reassurance, and they need a nightlight and set up a nightlight. If they need a noise machine, get a noise machine, whatever it is. Try and understand where they're coming from. Maybe I'm looking at this with a lens of kids that are a little bit older, but like 2-3 years old. Like my kids have always slept in, and my kids sleep in the same room together. They always have. So, they have each other for comfort as well, in either way I see it from that aspect too. But yeah,
that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know if that was helpful.
I don't have too much more to say on that. Without me sounding like an arsehole. So.
No, you're not, because your focus is on him having it better for himself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anyway, there's our advice.
That was fun.
That was fun. Oh, cool. Well, I guess on that bombshell, I'll see everybody next week.
Yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow at our conference.
You will see me tomorrow. Oh, I'm very excited to see you.
I'm excited too. I'm so excited. I need to finish my presentation.
Your slides. Yeah. What time is your session tomorrow?
I think it's 11:30.
Okay, your slides will be done at 11:25 then.
Yep. Yep.
I know you. Oh dear. All right, mate. I love you.
Love you too, man.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Look forward to it.
See you tomorrow. And everyone else.
Like and subscribe, everybody.
Yeah, like and subscribe, and all that fun stuff.
All that jazz.
Yep.
Peace.
Bye.